How's it going, Gridiron Glory fans? Today we're here to break down the TVC-Hocking so far this season. I'm Sara Vallone here with Kaleb Carter. Kaleb, let's start with the #1 team in the Hocking right now, Trimble.
Trimble, well, as you've seen all year, Trimble Tomcats defense has been outstanding. They put up points on the board, led by Connor Stanley and just a gang of great players. It's an all-around great team.
Their defense is the highlight of their team, but also compared to last year, they have dropped down in scoring from last season to this season. So hopefully they're relying a lot on their running game like a lot of the Hocking teams are this year. So maybe if they can get a little bit more passing going on there, they're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say, honestly. And we've seen them run the ball the last couple of years. If they can, have a 1-2 punch with the running game and the passing game, they should be just fine.
That's right. Now let's go on to Wahama.
Oh, Wahama. With their only loss to that tough Trimble Tomcats team, Wahama's still putting up a lot of points. 3 of their last 4 games, they've put up at least 50 points. They're doing just fine.
They also rely on their running game too. Kane Roush, 17 touchdowns. He's one of the most unstoppable people on their team. But again, with the passing, Hunter Bradley needs to connect with his receivers a little bit more and have some more completion. All right, now #3, Southern.
Well, with Southern, it's been an outstanding year for Southern. They went 4-6 last year, and now 5-1 this year, but their only loss coming to Wahama in a 28-14 loss, and that's nothing to hang your heads about because Wahama's a great team.
That's right. What we saw from them is they need a little bit more D. They didn't have enough D against Wahama. They're going to need more D against Trimble. Trimble does have a high-powered offense. So if they want a close game and potentially try to give Trimble their first loss, they're going to have to stop that running game.
That's for sure. And as good as Tyler Barton has been on offense for Southern, their defense is definitely going to have to step it up against the likes of Trimble.
And just like every other team, they need to work on their passing game. Now let's go over to South Gallia.
Well, with South Gallia, we've seen a lot of success this year, at least compared to last year. 2 wins last year for South Gallia. They now have 4 already, and one of the surprises of the Hocking.
That's right. They also need to focus on their D and passing. South Gallia has 2 big running backs. Let's talk about them.
They sure do. Jacob White and Ethan Spurlock are both 2 athletic big kids who you could tell have hit the weights in the offseason, and those 2 guys are the power behind that South Gallia offense.
Just like you said, they are big kids. Bigger than a lot of the running backs in this league, so it takes at least 5 or 6 players to bring them down. Let's go over to Federal Hocking.
Well, with Federal Hocking, expectations were pretty high coming into the season. They've had a few setbacks, lost Alexander at the start of the season, had a few rough games, but we've seen what they can do, beating Hannon 60-0, beating Waterford 40-0. So if we see a defense like that, Phil Hoffman's program is going to be just fine at Federal Hocking.
They also rely on Crum's legs. He's definitely gets the ball a lot, runs the ball across field. So hopefully Hoffman, the quarterback, can look to his receivers, Nichols, and see a little bit more, maybe a more 2-dimensional team going on there. So let's turn it over to Eastern.
Well, with Eastern, things have been there's a whole new thing of change in Eastern this year. There's a new coach, new position players, lost their star player, Joe Scouten, from last year. They have 2 quarterbacks rotating in this year, running a spread offense, and offense hasn't come as easily as they might have hoped this year. But with assuming that they start playing better ball, as what we saw last year with that offense, I think you can see some improvement from Eastern.
And with that offense, they do convert, though. They just need to convert more.
They just need to find the end zone.
That's right. Now, let's go to Belpre.
Now, with Belpre, with a roster of about 23 players, it's kind of hard to field a team in any league, as small as they are. Tavion Miller is an outstanding athletic quarterback who plays both sides of the ball. Assuming that you keep putting the ball in his hands, I think Belpre can still win a few games here.
Now, Waterford, they lost 10 to graduation. It's kind of hard to come back from that.
It sure is. And Coach Tom Tucker told us at the start of the season, he said that losing 10 is going to be rough, but I'm going to rely on my senior, Austin Lang, who was an all-state wrestler, in fact, at 140 pounds. This kid's a solid running back and linebacker, but it's hard for him to do it all, and that's why Waterford struggled to score.
He also said he wanted to focus on his offensive and defensive line, getting them stronger. I think they still need to work on that, but they are making progress. Let's talk about the last team in the Hocking, Miller.
Well, Miller, they've had some troubles stopping defensively. At least this year, they are better. Last year, they gave up about 50 points a game. Last year, they've improved to 26.2 points per game allowed. That's an outstanding improvement. It's still got a ways to go. They've got to be able to put points on the board.
That's right.
But they have improved.
Yep, and they don't have the last 4 games on their schedule isn't easy. They still have Southern and Wahama, even Federal Hocking. So, they just got to pick up their game a little bit, maybe get 1-2 more wins in there. Let's see what they got going for them. That's all we got for you today. Check out our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for all Gridiron Glory info. Until then, remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.